Oh my, it's patch time. And there's some changes we need to talk about because they're pretty big changes to a couple agents. So let's just dive into it, shall we? Here's patch notes 9.05, and I'm just going to dive straight in. Agent updates Omen. Oh, we've updated Omen's voice lines. Oh, it's just one of those patches, is it? Well, no, it's not one of just those patches because here's Chamber. Chamber, Rendezvous, TP radius increased from 13 to 18 meters. This is a major change. Chamber could use a light nudge to fight for more space on mats safely around his rendezvous. More space around his rendezvous beacon allows for more setups and allows Chamber to push out more aggressively and take unexpected angles. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is like the main thing that matters for Chamber. If Chamber is going to be good or not, it mostly centers around the rendezvous. You'll remember they tried to nerf Chamber over and over and over again, and nothing changed Chamber's pick rate until they finally nerfed the rendezvous. So by buffing it back, sure, it won't probably be what it used to be like, right? But it will make a difference, as I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so here is the Chamber rendezvous. You put it down on the ground, you get a circle around it, right? If we ping where that thing is, it's about 13 meters for the circle. And obviously, it's going from 13 to about 18. So let's see, where is 18 meters? So it's about somewhere around this, right? And you could see 18 meters, you can picture that circle in your head, is quite a lot bigger. And of course, what this will allow you to do, as they said in the patch notes, is potentially put down rendezvous in positions that were kind of useless before, but will now be very, very good, right? Let's just take something like this. Right, let's take something around that. If you place that there now, this is quite useless for the most part, right? Not going to be helping you in a lot of cases. Well, there you go. It's going to be about 13 meters. But now you could probably get to about here, to be honest, with the new one. Let's just see. If I come to about here, ping where my rendezvous is, look, 18 meters. And now I'm on a great angle. Right, this is going to be the difference. It's going to allow you to get to certain positions that are going to be really, really strong, as opposed to, you know, whatever was going on before. And obviously this is just one example, but I'm sure you'll find many more across many different maps. And this is why this is such a massive change for Chamber. It is going to really, really impact Chamber and how viable Chamber is on quite a lot of maps. So this is, in my opinion, a bit of a risky change because I don't want to go back to a full Chamber meta, but I think is a step in the right direction because, you know, we all think that Cypher and Killjoy are pretty good. So having Chamber be also pretty good, I think will hopefully, you know, spice things up with the Sentinel meta. So there is change number 1. But what about change number 2? Because this one, for me personally, is quite exciting. And that is Astra. Stars increased from 4 to 5. Holy. Let's read what they have to say. After rebalancing some of Astra's power away from her Gravwell and into her Nova Pulse and Cosmic Divide in sub 0.04, Astra has struggled to be competitive with other controllers, given Astra has to choose between fulfilling her core duties as a controller and using her other abilities. This change gives Astra more freedom to use her other piece of utility without sacrificing her ability to smoke throughout the round. Now, I recently made a video about how I was thinking about buffing Astra, and I thought that an Astra buff was probably coming. The controller class was a mess and probably need working on. I, in that video, said I wouldn't buff the Astra stars. I didn't want to give Astra 5 stars back because I would be worried that people now are much better at the game and would find ways of using Astra that would be very, very strong with 5 stars, and you essentially could be impacting every single round no matter what because you had a kind of a free star to play with. Now obviously they disagreed because they've gone for it, right? And in my personal opinion, when I was talking about that change, I thought, well, if you just give Astra 5 stars, all that's going to happen is Astra won't replace Omen. You'll just get quite a bit of Astra and Omen because they'll both be just pretty good. I actually think that that is likely to happen on some of these maps now, right? I think that with this change, for instance, a new Abyss meta will become something like Astra Omen. We already saw EDG, obviously the world champions, playing Astra Omen on that map. And now that both Astra and Omen are even better, I think that that will become definitely a viable option. Not just on Abyss, though. I think it will become a viable option on quite a few other maps as well, right? This could be an interesting change in terms of Astra might replace Viper on some of these double controller maps, right? Like, you could see that kind of thing happen, which wouldn't shock me that much either. It will make the controller meta more interesting, of course, because Perhaps in some instances you will get Astra replacing Omen on some of these maps. Certainly people, I think, will try it at the very least of, you know, having Astra in there instead of Omen. So there is that element to it, that it will probably have some impact on some of these maps, particularly maps where Astra has found success in the past. You know, I'm thinking of maps like Split, which will obviously come back, which was a map where people last year were playing just Astra pretty much. So, you know, maybe we'll see Astra there again. Again, though, I wouldn't be surprised. That's a map where we've seen a lot of double controller. Maybe that will become Omen Astra, right? Like, things like this would not shock me whatsoever. I mean, hell, maybe FPX will go crazy and just say, you know what, maybe Astra, Omen, and Viper are all good enough to play together now, and we're just going to play triple controller everywhere. That would be funny. I wonder how long that would last. That would be funny. Now, this is the only other buff to, you know, a controller. It's just Astra. They are changing the stims a bit. I'll just quickly go over this. Basically, that players talked about, like, Reyna's Empress stim effect can feel disruptive while spraying, so it makes it harder to hit your shots. So they've basically just changed the rate of recoil control to match the default rate of fire. So therefore, you are shooting more bullets, but your recoil is about the same as it was if you were shooting kind of normally. So a small buff to the stim, essentially. So that's also there. But that's pretty much all of the changes that they're making. So to me, the controller class still needs work, right? Like, agents, like, this is just going to leave agents like Harbor. You know, I mean, Clove is obviously a bit of a ranked agent, so that's kind of a different story. But, you know, particularly for Harbor and Brim, I think this is like, well, now all of those other three controllers are pretty good. And Clove is also good in rank. So why would you ever play Brim and Harbor, right? I think we definitely need probably something, if that's the direction we're going with this. Those two agents probably need some love, because otherwise it's like you're just getting left behind, especially Harbor. I mean, Brim maybe still has, you know, a place to carve out on maps like Bind and Fracture, but for Harbor it really is like, why would you ever play Harbor, right? So there definitely still needs to be some work done with Harbor there. There is also just a quick change to the Aries as well. The Aries might be a gun again. So they reverted the crouch benefits nerf from standard 25% back to 40%, which apparently is the same as the Odin. So crouching with an Aries is good again, and also the headshot multiplier is now 2.5, which means that if you're within 30 meters, you can kill someone with 2 headshots, which is good. I guess this probably makes the Aries okay, right? Like a gun that maybe you could pick. I still think for the most part people won't be picking the Aries. I think that range of gun is kind of, you know, people either go with the Stinger or, you know, or a Sheriff or Vandals, right, basically. So I'm not sure if you'll see a lot of Aries, but maybe if you're playing like Stover on Ascent, you can buy an Aries in the second round or whatever and not feel horrible about it, right? Like little bug fixes as well. You know, like Deadlock Sonic Sensors, Cypher Spike and Vice Arc Rows could not be placed on some map walls during the buy phase. You know, little things like that, and a bunch of Vice bugs have all been fixed as well now, as well as apparently some Omen and a KO bug. But yeah, some small bug fixes, but I do think that those changes, you know, the Chamber and Astra change, are pretty big, right? Those are sizable buffs, like a level of buff where you genuinely will now consider playing those agents. I think it's very exciting at the very least. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'm intrigued. I mean, I want to see what will happen. I'm a little scared, right? I don't want a chamber meta again.